Hello students, welcome back to another session of object-oriented programming. In the previous lectures, we were discussing about Java tokens, data types, operators, control structures with the conditional statement and looping statement. And this is the last topic in the chapter 2, that is arrays. So this is part A, we are going to have array. So can a variable hold more than one values? Is a simple question we are asking. So a variable can hold only one value at a time. We know it. Okay. So variable by default can hold a single value. For example, we are going to have a string variable called rock band. So we are trying to use the values Joy, Paul, Ed, Rob. Okay. So if you are trying to assign the value, how could be? So we are going to declare a string rock band equal to Joy. It's first time. So now rock band value is Joy. Again we are trying to use a Paul value. So we are going to say rock band equal to Paul. So now what happened? Rock band with the Joy value is replaced with Paul now. So we are going to use the other value Ed. Now the present value is Ed. The same way when we come to use rock, so it is going to hold the rock value. So what does it mean? A variable can hold one value at a time. So we are going to ask, can a variable hold more than one value? No, it's not possible. Okay. So variable will hold only one value at a time. So next is, if you are going to have different scenarios, sometimes we may require more variable. Okay, number of variables sometimes required if you have huge amount of values. Okay. So there are some situations you may expect to hold more than one value in the variable. So we have to think about it. Okay. For example, what we are going to see is when we are going to say have some list of songs, okay, which trying to assign in the variable. Okay. For example, we are having rock band song 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a list of values. If you have assume 300 songs, we need a 300 variable. Okay. So you are going to have songs, and many number of songs. For every variable, we are supposed to assign different variables. So what is required? We need a single variable to hold all the values. So there is some situations coming. Okay. We may have huge amount of data which you need to hold in a variable, which is burden for us. Every time we are expected to declare or create new variables. Okay. So we can solve this issue by array. Array can provide a solution for this. Okay. So array is a solution to solve and avoid using many number of variables that can be solved with single indexed variable. So in Java we have an array concept. Okay. We have array concept. First we are going to discuss about one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array. Of course we have two-dimensional array also. We will see in the end of this chapter. End of the discussion we will discuss about this one. So we are first of all discussing about one-dimensional array. So an array is indexed container. So it's a container that holds set of values, okay, of single type. So array can hold a set of values, okay, that is an indexed container. So in an indexed container, it is going to have set of value with a single type in a sense single data type. Okay. So we are going to solve the issue. Previously we created so many variables for every individual values, or for example songs. Now that can be solved with a single array value. Okay, single array can solve handling many number of variables. So one array variable can have multiple values or more number of values. So arrays allow to create a single identifier. So we will have identifier, single identifier. What is identifier? Our variable here, single identifier to organize many items with the same data type. So this we are saying another word. Okay. So we are going to organize many items, many number of values with the same data type. Okay. Same data type only. For example, we are going to say integer. We can able to declare assign all integer value only. If you are going to say double, only we can assign double value only. So that's what same data type. So data type should be similar. each item in the array is called element. So in the array we are used to call every item as an element. Okay. So what is the use of array mean? Array makes storing the values. Okay, we can store the value temporarily in the running time. So system running time, it is going to store the value, and you can able to access those values, many values, in a easy way. You can able to access a value in a easy way. So what we can say as about array is, arrays are sequential structure. Okay, arrays are sequential structure, meaning it can hold or store the values. Which values? More than one values. So store one or more value, one after another. Okay, so it is going to store one after another in the array. For example, we have an array structure here. This is single or one dimensional array. Okay, array can have a structure with index. Okay, so index starts with the 0 always. Array index always starts with the 0, and followingly it will be 1, 2, 3. It will go up to the size that you declared. Okay, for example, we have 7 size, 0 to 6 means totally 7 indexes are there. So for every indexes we will have a value. So are the elements. We can say what the item in the array is called elements. Okay, so these are the elements. In the 0 index we have 27 element. In the 1 index we have 12 element are the value. So in such a way the values are arranged in a sequential. So it is called arrays are sequential structure, which is going to store the value one after another in the array. So the values are going one after another. So we have indexes. So 0 is always the index starts with the 0, and it goes one after another. And for every indexes we will have a value. Okay, so the values are the elements, or the items are the elements. Okay, how arrays are going to be accessed by their index? Okay, arrays are accessed by their index. It can be accessed. Okay, so we can access the array elements. Okay, by using the numerical index. So the index are numerical elements. Okay, you know that all the arrays starts with the element that is 0. Index always starts with the 0. So we can see this the diagram here. So index are 0 starts with the index 0. It is proceeded to the next as a sequential way, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. Totally 10 elements are there here. So element of 10 elements. So we will have the index starting from 0 up to 9. So from 0 to 9 index, what will happen? So totally 10 elements will be there. So always the array starts with the index 0, and it will proceed as a sequential, and based on the declaration of your size, for example 10 elements I want mean, it starts from the 0, and totally how many? 10. So from 0 to 9, totally 10 elements will be there. Always remember the first element of the index is 0. Okay, so the length will be decided based on the size that you are going to give. So for example, you are saying the length or the size of the array is 10, so it starts from 0 to 9. So how do you going to access the element? If for example, if you need first element, we can say 0th index. If you need 4th element, we need 0, 1, 2, 3. So third element. So index of 3 is 4th element. If we are saying 9th element, for example, what we say, 8th index of 8 is the 9th element. Okay, so we used to say the index number always. So what is the index that we are going to access? So we say the index number in which we can able to access the element in the array, stored in the array. So array data types. So whatever the data types that we use, it is going to allow you to store similar data type item. Okay, array can have any type. We can declare in any type, any data type or primitive data type I can say, or it can have objects. But what will happen? All the elements must share the same type. If you are declare any object, that should be a particular object. If you are going to have any data type, it can be a particular data type. For example, you are declaring a primitive data type here as an integer type. So what an array going to hold? It can be an integer number only. If you are trying to insert, assign or initialize different value, it won't accept it. You will receive compile time error. Okay. So for example, this is integer type. So we are holding all integer type here. Here is another example, predefined object, for example, array of strings we are going to have, meaning we can hold all string values here. Okay, Sunday, Monday are the days in the week, so all these are the strings, so we are storing the string values. Okay, now how do we going to declare array? Okay, now we are going to use the array in Java. Okay, so arrays are like a variable only. Okay, how we are used with the variable, so in the same way we are going to use the arrays. Okay, so but there is a syntax to use it. So what is the syntax to use the array? Okay, the syntax for using array is your data type, the bracket, okay, curly bracket, open bracket, close bracket. This is called single subscripts. Only one array this is. Okay, so open bracket, close bracket, and our identifier, array identifier. So with the data type we can say the array, that is open bracket, close bracket or subscripts here, or we can say the type we can declare here and put the what you call the subscripts at the end of the variable. This is also possible. So either you can use this syntax, data type, array subscript with the identifier, array identifier, or we can say data type, array identifier, then array subscripts. This is also possible. Okay, either one way we can use, both syntax are allowed in Java. For example, here you see here double array subscripts and then temperature. So what is there? Double is the data type. Okay, this is subscript. We can use the shortly say subscript. Okay, so we can use to say subscript, and this is array variable. Okay, so this is name of the array variable or identifier. Okay, array identifier, we can say temperature. Okay, so we can shortly say this. Remember, subscript, single subscripts, one subscript. So the subscript is nothing but open bracket, close bracket. Okay, this shortly we can say as subscript. And we have double, that is a data type. Okay, and we have the array identifier. Okay, that is name of the array. How we are going to create an array? Okay, so we have we already know that how to declare an array. Okay, so to create an array we need a new operator. Okay, so initializing memory, so new operator will create a memory. So we have to create a memory for the array because we are going to hold many values, so we need a memory. How we create a memory mean by using new operator. Okay, as you know that data type with the subscripts, we can have array identifier, and we have to say equals new operator and whatever the data type that you declared here, the data type with the size of your array. What will do, it will create a memory space. Okay, it will create a memory space to hold all the values. Okay, so this is for creating array. The first line is to create an array, and the second one is the variable name whatever that we hold, and array subscript with the index where you are going to store the value. This is for assigning a value or initializing the value. So we will use the index. So starting index is 0, and based on the size the index can be assigned starting from 0. If you are going to say for example 10, we can starting from 0 to 9 we can use the value. So we are going to say equals, then we will assign the value. So assigning value is through the index only. So we can also able to access the variable with the index with the values. Okay, assigning value we are going to say as usual like variable assignment, but we use the subscript with the index. Okay, so array size will be important here. Okay, the size determines the number of item or the element that you are going to hold in the array. Okay, size is important here. So how many number of elements are you going to store in this array is going to be declared by the size. He is going to determine. Okay, and once you are declared the size in the creation of array, okay, you say for example 10 here, and in future you are trying to create again, it's not possible. So array cannot grow beyond the size. Okay, once you are declared mean within the size only we are going to use it. Whatever the memory is created at first with the size, so that many number of element only allowed to use. It cannot be grow beyond the size. So if you are going to say 10, 0 to 9 only it is assigned. If you are going to say array of 10, 10th element, 11, index 11, 12, it's not possible to grow. Okay, so we cannot use beyond the index. Okay, whatever the index limits are there within the size only we are supposed to use. We can see the example here. Okay, for example, what we are going to hold 100 integer numbers we are planned to store. Okay, so we can say integer subscript with the index array index variable my integer array. This is a array variable. Okay, now this is a declaration. Okay, we are creating the array here. Okay, using this variable, we say new, then data type, whatever the data type is, that is integer, and the size is 100. What would happen? We can use the index from 0 to 99 elements. Totally 100 are there. So this is the way to create an array. In alternative, we can also write in a single line. Okay, we can say in a single line, data type array subscript with the array variable equals in the same line new our data type with the size. This is an alternative way of writing in a single line. Okay, so the first line is we are declaring and we are creating. Here declaration, creation, everything goes in a single line. So how we are going to initialize and create and initialize array values. As you know how to create an array, okay, and how to initialize the value. Now we have some example. So we are initializing some, for example, 3 values. What will happen? Integer array subscript. For example, we are saying ages. Okay, human age equals to new. We are creating a new operator with the data type. And the size of the array is 3. Size of the array is 3 means we will have 3 elements. So how a value can be assigned, okay, or initialized. So 3 in a sense, totally 3 element. So starting from 0 index. So ages is a variable of subscript with the index 0. This is the first element, okay, and we are assigning any value here. Okay, this is ages of 1. This second element we are assigning another value. Ages of 2. This is the third element. So totally we have 3 size. So starting from 0 to 2 only. Totally in total we have 3. Okay, if we are trying to assign ages of 3, it's not possible because we have assigned only 3. Okay, so starting from 0 to 2 only. Totally we have, in total we have 3 elements. So we can see also another example. So this is string type. The previous one is integer type. Now we are assigning string type. String with the subscripts, and we are going to assign names, names of the persons. Okay, names, and we are using new string of the size of the array is again we are saying 3. In the same way, we are going to use the name variable, the array variable here, and we are using the subscript with the index, and we used to say the name. We are assigning Mary in the first element, and the second one Pop we are saying, the third one we are saying Charles. Okay, totally we have 3 elements. So what is this? Names are the variables, and this is index with the subscripts. Okay, and these are values that we are assigned. And there are another way to initialize and declare the variable. Okay, so this is another way. Okay, in a single step we can able to declare array values. So this is all about how we are going to use in an alternative way, how to use in a single step. Okay, to initialize the value, to declare and initialize the value in a single step. How we going to use by using the enumerated value. So we used to say the data type or the object with the array subscript and the array identifier or the array variable equals, we are going to put it in the curly brace. Okay, we can be separated with the list of values based on the data type. Okay, we are going to say integer value separated by comma, list of values, group of values we can give. If it is object type, we are going to give it in double quotation with the values, and comma is going to be separated. Okay, so all the values are going to be given within the braces, curly braces. Okay, we can have an example here. String array subscript names equals, we are going to give all the values that we used in the previous example. For example, Mary, Pope, Charles. Okay, all we put it in the curly brace. So it is, since it is a string value, we put all the values in a double quotation. So string value 1 comma string value 2 comma string value 3. So here what is happened, we are not initialized the size. We are not saying the size. Automatically whatever the value is given, the size is understood by the same. Okay, so the same way we can also give integer value as like previous example. So integer subscript with the array variable equals, we are giving the ages. It is, since it is integer, we are giving integer value separated by comma. Okay, so here we are not saying about the size of the array. So we are directly assigned our values. This is another way of declaring and initializing an array. So how are we going to access the elements? Okay, so how do we going to access the elements? So for a while we need to get the element what is assigned in the individual elements of array. Okay, so assume that we are initialized ages as like previous with the single step. Okay, we have integer array, subscript, array variable, and in the curly bracket braces we are mentioned that 3 ages. How do we access these values? Okay, so what using this array variable, we are going to say ages of 0. So subscript with the index 0 is what? Is representing the 25. So this 25 we are going to take into the variable my age, for example. So if you are going to call my age, you are going to print my age, mean what will happen? It will print the value that is 25. You are going to say, for example, age of 1 represent 27. So we can say your age, for example, we are assigning with another integer value. Once you are going to print this one, we can able to get your age, that is 27. Okay, so we can also directly use the value for printing. Okay, we can also directly print the ages, or you can use to print this value. Both are possible because it holds a value and we are assigned to the value. It can also hold this value. Okay, we can also use to represent the variable what is assigned with, or we can directly use the array variable with the subscript to print the value. This is also possible. So how do we understand the length of the array? Okay, how do we understand the length of the so we have a method to represent the size of the array. Okay, the length means the size of the array. So for that we have an example here. We have integer with the primes with the array. So we declare the enumerated array value here, that is integer value because declared with the integer. How do we going to know the length mean? We say the array variable dot length. Length is a method which represents the size of the array. Okay, according to this, what is there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Totally 7 elements are there. So it will print the value that is 7. Okay. Next one is array indexes and length. So some more detail about the array. So we will have another example for the size. Okay, we are declaring integer ages. We have age of persons with single step declaration and initialization of values. If we are going to say this length, what we will get based on the length here. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 values are there. 8 will be printed. So ages dot length is going to be printed by this. 8 will be printed. Okay. If you are going to think of how it is going to be assigned, mean, so as you know, array is a sequential structure. So starting from 0, we will have totally up to 7. So 7 index will be there starting from 0. This is the first index, and 0 holds 27, and 1 holds 12, 2 holds 82. So in such a way, it will go up to the 7th index, that will have 34. If suppose if you are going to access some particular age, for example index of 3, it will return 70. If you are going to say index of 5, it will return 1. So the length of the array here is 8. Okay. So how do you print the value using looping? Okay, we can use looping to print the values, but because we have a huge amount of value, if we are assigned or one or more values, if values are more, it may be sometimes difficult to handle them. So how are we going to print the value or assign the value? So we can use the looping. Okay, for example, we have an array here, string names with a single subscript single dimensional array. We created a array here with the new, and we declared directly with the string values. Okay, we directly declared our string values, Tom, David, Mike, directly here. And if you are going to use how you are going to print this value mean, we can use looping. For example, for loop index we are starting 0, because you know array starts with the index 0. Okay, so we say index is 0. Index, how we are going to check the condition? So we have a length of the array. Okay, so index less than the name of the array is names dot length. So whatsoever the length is there, so up to that we are going to have. So up to that mean it will take for example this array is 3. So if you are going to say 3 mean, so less than 3 we cannot make it equal here, because we are starting the starting index is 0. So totally we have 3 elements, so we cannot make it less than equals. Okay, we cannot go up to 3. So what we have to do, less than only. So because the length will say the total number of elements, so we have to take it to up to 2. Okay, if it is reaches to the length, then it will get the false statement, condition will be false. So index less than only, not equals, remember. So index plus plus always we are incrementing, and we can use the name variable with the index whatever that is in the loop. Okay, we assign the variable, so whatever the variable that we use, we can use the array with the index here. So what will happen, so looping will be first 0 0 0 is less than the index, that is 3. So condition is true, then system.out.println names of 0 is Tom will be printed. Now the index is going to be incremented, so that is previously was 0, now it is going to be 1 less than 3, condition true, so it is going to print the value names of names of 1. So names of 1 is David, and then condition get increment, so condition is 2 less than 3, condition true, then it prints a value. So 2 is Mike will be printed. Now value incremented. Now 3 less than 3, condition false, loop will come out of the loop. Okay, loop will be terminated. Okay, so in such a way we can use the looping to print if you have more number of values, especially to deal with the arrays. So this is the value that we printed. In the same way we can also assign the values using the loop. We are trying to assign random values to arrays. So initializing itself, you are particular about individual values, how we are going to assign the value. Okay, assigning values also can be taken place using the for loop. So for loop, similar like for loop, we have for each loop. Okay, this is also one of the alternative way. Okay, this is an alternative way we can use for each loop. So this is to simplify our looping, because we previously had increment, condition and initialization. As you know that we have initialization, condition, increment and that. And if you are going to use the for each loop, it will simplify, and also it is a alternative way how we are going to use this for each loop. Okay, so for each loop is a syntax with for. We will have our data type with the iteration variable. This is our variable what we are going to use to print. Okay, and we will have a colon. Okay, it's a syntax, and whatever the array variable that we have, array name or array identifier, and we can use to print the value of the iteration variable that we declared. Okay, so based on the array identifier, we will declare the data type or the type, and we will have iteration variable. Using this iteration variable only, we can able to print the values. So this is a good example for our for each loop. We can directly see the loop here. For we are having, for example, string name. Okay, name is our iteration variable, and type is a string here, and a colon here array name. Okay, array name is a names according to the previous example. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to print the name every time. So this name is nothing but is going to take the value starting from 0 to the end of the value. One by one it will take the value, and it is going to be assigned in the iteration variable. This variable, when you are going to print, we will be able to get all the values from the names array. Okay, so iteration variable is important here. Okay, iteration variable is important, which takes the value from the array variable. Okay, it's based on the array name only we are going to declare the type. Okay, so the type must be the same name of the array. So this is important. So whatever the type of array we declared, so the iteration name can be the same type. So now we can compare with the for each loop and the for loop. Okay, so you know that for each loop will hold the same data type as the iteration variable, and iteration variable is the one which able to process the data or print the data. Okay, names is actually a actual array value, and on the other side we have for loop, which will have a initialization value, which will have a condition, which will have the updater value. So based on the updater value, every time the condition going to be evaluated. Okay, and it is going to print every indexes starting from 0 and based on the length. Okay, here we are identifying the length and we are checking the from the index, we are comparing every time, and we are giving increment every time for the index. And by using the array identifier, we use a subscript with the index, a particular index. By based on that only we are printing the values. But the other side, using the iteration variable, what we are placing here, using that we can print easily. So this is all about working with the single dimensional, and now I can show you two-dimensional array. Okay, two-dimensional array. So we can also use to call this one as a multi-dimensional array. If you are going to have more than one subscript, so we can say 2 or more dimensions. Okay, so we can have n number of dimensions if you are plan to do. Okay, so two-dimensional, for example, we used to say 2D shortly, two-dimensional. We can shortly say two-dimensional, 2D. So we will have rows and columns in the two-dimensional. So what is the two-dimensional mean? We will have rows and columns. So multiple columns will be there, multiple rows will be there. So rows and columns will be there. Okay, as like we can say spreadsheet. Okay, if you are going to think about 2D, it is look like a spreadsheet. Okay, so two-dimensional array will have additional subscript or square brackets. Okay, square brackets what we used previously will be additional. Okay, if there is a two subscripts or two square brackets, then we can understand this one as a two-dimensional. If we are having three-dimensional, that means more than one itself we used to say as multi-dimensional. So we can understand if based on the number of subscript that you are holding here. So we have two subscript here, so we can say two-dimensional here. So how it is going to represent, for example, is going to be arranged in the rows and the columns. Okay, the first subscript or the square bracket will declare the rows. The second square bracket or the subscript will make the column. Okay, so here are the rows. So week 1, 2, 3, 4 are the rows, and the days Sunday, Monday, Tuesday up to Saturday are the columns. Okay, it is look like a spreadsheet. So we have columns here and we have week with rows here. Okay, so whatever the style of declaring and creating array we use for single dimensional, the same way we are going to say the type with the array subscripts, then array identifier. This is for declaring an array. Also we can use the array subscript at the end of the array identifier. That's also possible as like the single dimensional. So one example, integer, we are having integer array. So array subscript with the a variable yearly sales. So this is a array variable, double dimensional array, two-dimensional array variable. So how we are going to use the two-dimensional? Okay, so we are going to say array identifier. Again, to create array we used to have a new, because it should initialize the memory. So we will say the type again as like similar syntax of single dimensional, and number of arrays that you are having, that means it is going to represent the rows, number of rows, and length will declare the columns. Okay, this is going to say the columns. Okay, so as like the previous yearly sales, if you say like integer 4 mean 5 rows will be created, 4 columns will be created. So here you can see the quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can say this is a column and the 5 is a row. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a row. Okay. So if you are going to assign the value in this created array, so once created means it is look like a spreadsheet, rows and columns are there. How do we going to assign the value and how we are going to take the value? Okay. For example, if you are going to say the yearly sales with the 0, 0, you are saying 0 is the row and 0 is the column, and in which we are assigning 1000. Mean so 0, 0. So row is 0 and the column is 0, where we assigned the 1000 value. For example, you are going to say yearly sale is 0 that is a row, column is 1. So this is a zeroth row and the column is 1. This is 1th column. So we are saying 1500. So now we are going to say 0 is a row, 2 is a column. So 0th row, this is 0 column, 1 column. So this is the 2 column, 1800 we assigned here. So we have another line here, 1 is a row, 0 is a column. So where we assign 1000. So this is 0 row, 1 row, row 1 and the column is 0. So this is a column 0 where we assign 1000. For example, another one, yearly sale with the 3 3. 3 is row, 3 is column. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is the row and 3 is the column. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So where we assign the 2000 the value. So in such a way we can assign the value. If you are going to take the value, we will use the same style to take the value. Okay. So these are all about two-dimensional. So how do we going to access the two-dimensional value or assign the value for two-dimensional value? So we need a two looping. Previously we used a single loop. Okay. Now we have row and we have column. So we need two different looping. So look into this example. We have two-dimensional integer, two square brackets are there. So two subscripts are there. That is assigned in m. So now we are assigning the m is new, and we are assigning 4 rows, 5 columns. Okay. This array is created here. And now I am going to use the first loop for row. So row starts with 0. Row is less than the size, the length of or size of the row is 4. Okay, so from 0 to 4 will be there. So less than only. And every time we will get increment with the row. And one time looping at 0 mean many columns are there. So if it is row 0, you can see if you are going to travel from one row, there are many columns. Okay, so to travel with the column, we are initializing with another loop. Okay, for this loop we are going to say column that is starting with 0, and we are going to take up to 5. So, okay, not up to 5, total 5 elements. So column less than 5 only. Every time we are incrementing column. Now we can say our array variable m, that is this is 0 in first. Okay, 0, and column first time also it is going to be 0. And every time we are going to say, for example, assigning value row plus column. So whatever the row and column is coming, first time what will happen? 0 0. So first 0 0 the location, row 0, column 0 is going to be 0 only. And what will be working? So this inner loop will be working. So it is going to be incremented, and column is 1 less than 5, condition true. Then row is 0, column is 1. So in the second column at the 0 row, what will be there? 0 plus 1. So 1 will be storing in the 0th row, 1th column. So column will be incremented. Column is 2. Column going to be 2 less than 5. Condition true. So 0 row, 2th column, then value 2 will be there. So it will complete the row. It will complete the column. Okay. Until the 5th element, from 0 up to the 4th. Okay, if it is reaches 5, loop will terminated. Once loop is terminated, now row will be incremented. Okay, row will be incremented. Now row was previously 0. Now row will be 1. So 1 less than 4. Now what will happen? Condition true. Now it is coming to the inner loop. Now column is 0. Column, condition true. It goes inside. So what is the row value? Row is 1. Column is 0. So 1th row, column 0. So 1 plus 0. So 1th row, column 0 is 1. Condition, the value will be incremented. So 1 less than 5. So it goes to the end of the column. Okay, from 0 to 4 it will go. So it will assign the value. Then now once it is completed, a row will be incremented. Now row is 2. Condition true. So now coming inner side, again all the column will be completed with the column 2, and every column of row 2 will be completed, and row is incremented, row 3, condition true, and inner all the column will be completed, and row will be incremented 4, right? So 4 less than 4, finished. Okay, for condition false, loop will be terminated. Okay, so in such a way rows and columns can be filled, and the same way if you are going to take the value, the same way we can use rows and columns as two different loops, and we can able to access the value if you want to take all the values. Okay, so this is a good example for making you understand about two dimensionals. Okay, so these are all about one dimensional and two dimensional array, and we will have separate video for the demonstration purpose. Thank you very much for watching.